Every passing day, more and more Americans might just be rejecting the US's top political parties. A new Gallup survey says that young adults in the United States of America are inclined to support the Democrats or the Republicans. In fact, according to this survey, just under 45% of American adults now identify as independents. Over half of Generation Z or Gen Z and the millennials identify as political independents, while a majority of older generations side with a party. Data shows this is a substantial shift from 20 years ago, when closer to one-third of Americans said that they did not identify with the Democrats or Republicans. Gallup's analysis says that the young adults appears to be increasingly unhappy with the party, that is, the Republicans in power. That's a dynamic that could be good for the Democrats in this year's midterm elections, but doesn't promise lasting loyalty. In the last 15 years, the number of independents have increased significantly, and this year the Democrats gained the partisanship edge. According to the survey, nearly half, 47% of U.S. adults now identify as Democrats or lean toward the Democratic Party, while 42% are Republicans or they lean Republican. More independents have described their political views as moderate over the last decade, while Democrats and Republicans have grown less likely to identify as moderates. So the edge that Republicans had when Joe Biden was in power has worn off. About 47% of the independents called themselves moderates in 2025, as compared to about 3 in 10 Democrats and 2 in 10 Republicans. This creates another challenge for the parties to contend with, since appeals to the center to win the growing pool of independents could risk alienating the most committed people in their bases.
Hello, Bobby Jones here from Midas Touch and Valor Media Networks. A recently released poll reveals America's mood. Roughly 1/3 of Americans say politics and government are the biggest problems facing the country. In Gallup's most recent U.S. tracking entry in early 2026, concerns about government dysfunction remains consistently above 30%, far outpacing traditional anxieties like inflation, crime, or foreign policy. In Gallup's March 2025 survey, 27% of Americans named government or poor leadership as the nation's top problem. Compare that to 2026 follow-up tracking, and it shows that the concern has not receded, even as inflation has cooled and unemployment remained historically low. Instead, dissatisfaction with government has hardened into structural concern, not a cyclical one. Gallup's international comparisons reinforce this point. The United States remains a clear outlier among advanced democracies. Where the median share citing politics as a top national problem is closer to 14%, less than half of what the United States level is. This is a significant warning. Historically, Americans rarely name government itself as a country's central problem. Gallup's long-running, Most Important Problem series shows that for decades, top